everybody. So it is time for another story time today. And since I was going to take this nail polish off my nails, I thought what better time than to do another story time. And this story time is about the time we almost got caught slipping in the jungle. So stay tuned. Okay, so this is like the third take. Because I'm trying to remember. But so yeah, this took place. So I think I remembered the last story time wrong. I said I was showing a lot, and I don't think I was showing as much. Like I want to say it was like 5 months. So when you first get the bump, right? So at the time that this happened, this story takes place. When we got caught in the jungle slipping is when I want to say it was like a few months after. Yeah, it was. So I was actually showing more. I want to say it was like 5, 6 months. Yeah, I had to be 5, 6 months because I hadn't even went to a doctor's appointment yet at this time. But I ended up going. Yeah. So like it was 2 months after I caught him with the chick. Because I ended up going back to. I ended up leaving him after that situation because of another situation, which I gotta make a story. You know what? No, I'm gonna make another story time about it. I'm not gonna say it now because I don't know if it'll make much sense. So, anyways, he ended up going to Cali because he was originally from the West Coast, and I ended up going when I later on I ended up going down there with him. But see, I don't think at this time I didn't really know much more about the hood stuff, like the hood terms or like turfs and colors, and like I knew like the cliche stuff that, you know, if you watch a movie and you kind of get the gist that, you know, the C's wear blue and the B's wear red, right? But I didn't really know like lingo or areas or none of that. But I mean, he used to tell me like a few things, so I knew that one of those things was that people where we were going, um, that people ask a lot, like, "Where you from?" Which is crazy because after that, I realized a lot of people in Vegas used to say that. Like, I don't think they say it that much anymore, and that's probably because I'm not around that type of crowd, so I'm not gonna hear stuff like that. But back then, you know, because I was around him, I started to hear it a lot when I got to Cali. So, first and freaking foremost, I don't know what he got into. Not my business. But first and foremost, the way that he made it seem like the kind of, hey babe, like I want to make this work. I don't want to miss out on our child and all that. So I'm like, you know, for the most part, I felt like I don't really care. Like, you got me going through entirely way too much stuff. And to sit here and think that I will go through stuff like this pregnant is crazy. Because we were already having a hard time getting along after a while. Like when our relationship, you know how it gets to that stale point, and then you start to notice every little thing about the person, all the bad things, and I feel like that's when you kind of decide whether you stay or not. And most people end up staying, or maybe not most people, certain types of people end up staying longer than they need to, even though when the honeymoon stage was a bit up, you see all the red flags. And it's kind of harder to ignore them when the honeymoon stage is gone. So I started to notice a lot about him. And you would think that situation with me walking in on him cheating on me was enough. But I think it just opened my eyes. Like, it opened my eyes because I already knew that I didn't want to be with him. I already felt like all this stuff was too much. But it was probably easier to deal with. It was easier to ignore because, like, we're young, dumb, and having fun. But, like I said, once I got pregnant, it was almost like what do they call it? Your frontal lobe cortex opened. Like, all this was stupid. And the thing about your frontal lobe cortex opening is I always hear people say, like, once you hit like 25, it opens. And honestly, for me, it opened when I was 22. It was probably open already for the most part because I grew up, seeing a lot of stuff. But I feel like it opened at 22 or 21 and a half because I was pregnant. Like, I don't know. I'm not saying everyone's like that. I'm just saying for me, it opened once I got pregnant because it started to make me realize, like, okay, this all I can deny the facts and pretend like all of this is exciting and fun. But if it really was exciting and fun, me and him wouldn't be arguing as much as we were. Um, but it's all good. It's all good when you're putting yourself at risk, I guess. It's easy to say that this stuff is just, we're just having a good time because it's just me. But once I knew my baby was in there, it was like, nah. If I didn't already, I definitely know now. This isn't for me. I kind of want to go back. I want to go back to the life that I wanted for myself. You know what I mean? Having a job, starting a business, going back to school, following my dreams. And I don't know. I don't even know if I told y'all. I'm taking some nail polish off my nails because I'm about to do my nails and my toes. But I was like, yeah, this isn't fun. So most of the time that he was trying to ask me to come back or come with him, we were still like FaceTiming and stuff like that, but it was just like going there felt stupid. But at this point, I ended up moving back in with some family members because, like I said, it was getting real rowdy out there in them streets, and I didn't feel like he was worth the trouble. I didn't feel like, it's not even that he wasn't worth the trouble. My child wasn't worth risking for stuff that I didn't truly find fun anyways. He was kind of like, I don't want to say begging, because he didn't have to beg too much, because at that time it had been a while since I saw him. And he wasn't doing the same things anymore because he was back at home with his mama. So I'm like, like for him to go back to normal, maybe he really is trying to change. So I talked to my family members about it, and even though I felt, I don't know if I felt it or if it really happened. You know what? I'm gonna believe in me. These mother truckers was not trying to have me around. They kept pushing and pushing and pushing for me to figure out my life, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. But the way that they were going about it was more like, you need to do what you got to do, you stupid ass hoe. It wasn't really like, you're having a child now and you got to make these, these decisions, which it's not like I wasn't a grown woman. So it's not like I needed anybody to baby talk me, but it would have been nice to feel loved. Anyways. So eventually it was just like, I don't want to be here. I'm back to feeling like, I'm the person everybody looks down on to feel good about themselves. And I didn't want to keep feeling like that because I was doing a lot of research on babies because this is my first child and you're not supposed to be stressed. So, and I was paranoid. Like, I really was. I'm like, I'm about to lose my baby because of these freaking nutters. So, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to Cali. And, it was, a lot of people were upset. But I looked at it like, are y'all going to help me raise this child? Or should I go with the person that I had the child with? Because if we're all talking about be responsible, then I think the responsible thing to do, I thought the responsible thing to do was to stick it out with the person that I had a child with, so that, I don't become somebody's baby mama or having children out of wedlock and all that, stuff people say keeps you stuck. You better get the out of there. I mean, not if it's healthy, of course, but if it's unhealthy, run. Anyways, so I finally go down there. And I had to take a bus. First time on a Greyhound. Well, first time on a Greyhound as an adult. I feel like I've been on a Greyhound before as a kid, traveling to Canada. Yeah. Well, I don't even know if it was a Greyhound or if it was like a regular school bus. It was a field trip. Anyways. So, I take this Greyhound. Oh my gosh, I was so scared. I was so fucking scared. Because I didn't know that when you take the Greyhound, it's like taking a regular city bus where you have to like transfer. And I'm like, what if I get lost somewhere? Like, what if I get lost in the in-between? Like, wherever that, like, do they say, hey? I was so nervous. Because I'm like, I don't know if this is like a plane. I've been on a plane before at that time. I'd have been on plenty planes by that time. But I ain't never been on no bus by myself. And I was scared. So, but it did end up kind of being just, well, no. Because I feel like with the plane, right? You read the thingy thing. You read your itinerary and it says like gate. And then you just look at the signs and they show you the gate. But Greyhounds don't really, I feel like it's just like people pointing and you know what I mean? Or you got to look at the top thingy in the front of the bus. It's like, y'all playing with my life, bro. Because what if I ain't paying attention? What if I fall asleep? Like, I'm not the type of person who falls asleep on stuff like that. But I was pregnant, so I was falling asleep easily. I used to fall asleep at work in the bathroom. Yeah, actually, I used to fall asleep everywhere, and I'm not that person. Like, if I go to a sleepover with to somebody's house, I promise you, I'm staying up the whole day. And when you wake up in the morning, well, back in the day, and they wake up in the morning, like, hey, how'd you sleep? I didn't. I don't feel comfortable here. And I would try to do it anyways because I'm like, I don't know. I felt like that's supposed to be normal. Like sometimes you have sleepovers. But I just did not trust people. Like, I wouldn't say now, because now I think I could. But back then, I did not trust people. So it's just like, I don't know, bro. And then I was into scary movies like crazy. Like, I was low-key obsessed with scary movies, which I honestly wish I wasn't because it made me very paranoid back then. But, I'm healed, so I'm fine. But I don't watch scary movies anymore. Anyways, so it had me paranoid. Like, damn, I'm going to wake up. It's going to be some weird town. And they're going to be like, get off the bus. And I ain't going to be able to get home. Because I ain't got no money. So, yeah, I was worried. And I did have enough to get there. So, I don't know why I even thought, like, all of a sudden, like, cash was about to get stolen. They was going to run me that morning. So, I finally make it there. And I make it there at night. And I'm like, calling them. And by the time I touched down, I was low-key excited as heck because I've never been to California. At that time, I've never been to California before. So I was like, oh, yeah. Ooh, so this is the color I'm going to do. I'm going to do, look at that. Look, it's like a mauve. And then I'm going to do like these nails. Because I feel like it matches. Yep. So we're going, I've been doing like nude colors and then like popping colors. And then nude, like I'm going back and forth. So I can get a little best of both worlds. But, yeah, so I touched down in Cali and I'm like super excited and, they finally pull up and, it was his mom and I think his sister and brother. But yeah, so I'm like excited. I'm like, oh, I get to see my man again. I done forget that man too fast. So yeah. And so we get to the apartment. Red flag number 1. And it doesn't look like the hood because it still reminds me of Vegas. It just reminds me of like old Vegas, like the way that Vegas apartments used to look. Like not used to look because they still have old apartments here, but you know when you're in a dated place in Las Vegas, it just looks very 1950s. It looks very, very dated versus the like nicer. Well, I don't want to say nicer because some of the places be really nice, but versus that kind of all the houses and all the apartments look the same. Like those are the newer ones where all of them look the same. Vegas apartment look. And so I was kind of like, oh, okay, you know, because when we first this was my second time in Cali. This was my second time. The first time I went to Cali, I met his mom, but I wasn't pregnant. Yeah, I forgot about that. And she was living in a house. So I thought we was going there because the house was kind of also old style versions of Vegas houses. Cute. But it was like these apartments, right? But the parking lot is under the apartment. I ain't never seen nothing like that before. So it's like, it's not really a first floor. Because where we were, it's like sitting way high, and then you got these poles. And it's like, is this enough? Like, if an earthquake happened, them little beams is just, oh. So I was like, oh, okay. And then, you know, I'm not trying to be judgy, right? Because at that time, beggars can't be choosers. You better figure out where you want to go, honey. Kids. So I wasn't trying to complain too much. It's just outside the apartment. We get in that mother chucker. And I swear, because now that I'm older, I understand, like, you got to do what you got to do. Like, you just got to. And for those apartments to be as expensive as they were for the way that they look, nobody is wanting to do that, right? But if you live in California, you got to do what you got to do. It's like New York. People be asking, like, oh, you pay that much for an apartment like that? Because it's all bricked up, and they be all bricked up, and then it damn near look like you living in a warehouse with bricks. But it costs a lot of money because location. So I understand that now, but back then I was like, nah, bro, you got to move out of California. How you paying $1,000 for some dang beams? Some beams. So we go inside, and so like I said, it's his mother, his sister, his sisters, his brother, and then me, and then him, and then one of the sisters' boyfriends. It was a 1-bedroom apartment. When I tell y'all, I just wanted to be like, hey, you know what, family members? Listen, I'm gonna I'm gonna work as much as I can, and I'll move out in a timely manner, because there's no way in hell. I wanted to turn around immediately. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. So we go in the kitchen. He's like showing me around. For what? I don't know. It's the front room. It's the room. It's the bathroom in the room. It's the kitchen. We're done. That's it. Ain't nothing else to look at. So he's showing me around. I'm getting a nice little tour. And I'm trying to show this. When I tell you we lived a struggle love life, don't do it. And our relationship didn't last long, honestly, after I had our child. Our relationship probably lasted 4 months after I had him. So I do appreciate myself enough to where I didn't wait too long to leave him. We were together all but like 2 years. 2 years. And then I was done. But most of the second year, we weren't really physically together. It was long distance. That's a story for another day. But anyways. Yeah, but I was... Love yourself. because I was so busy sometimes trying to prove that I can stay down, knowing that I didn't care about any of this. I don't care. I don't care about staying down. I don't care about holding you down. I don't care about being a ride or die. I don't care about being Bonnie and Clyde. I don't care about and I didn't care then. Like, I didn't care then. But he was such a freaking manipulator that the way he would say things would make me feel like I have to prove, like, bro, it ain't about me being scared. And ain't nobody scared of nothing. I'm not, oh, you're squaring this and you're squaring that. And I'm not going to say it because I think the word is inappropriate. But so what certain type of men call men, what certain type of ends call their girlfriends for hire is an FAG. I ain't going to say it. You know, you got it. Friends for hire doesn't want to do the work, right? So yeah, like staying down is not. I'm telling you, it was just me knowing that this wasn't worth it. Like, I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what the music videos say. I don't care what the movies say. I don't care what the hottest in the hood says. This isn't worth it. I don't care. I just don't care. You know what I mean? But back then, I didn't know how to like stand on business. Like, stand on business. I didn't know how to stand on business and be like, I don't give a what you say about me. I don't care if you call me that name. And at that time, he didn't call me that name. This was like later on, which was one of the biggest reasons why. Because I don't know if I explained in the last video that his homeboys had girlfriends for hire. He didn't. But the chick who, one of his homeboys was a girlfriend for hire, was trying to choose him. Like, basically be like, hey. But he wasn't doing that. He was just doing winter stuff, winter boy stuff, right? He wasn't doing the other stuff. So later on, which is a whole nother story time, he ends up doing that stuff. But yeah, he would try to be manipulative. So if I'm like, if he wants to go to the liquor store 4 o'clock in the morning and bump music in the parking lot so all the people can look at us and just sit in there and pretend like he's counting money that he already counted because, duh, and blast his music loud, he's expecting, y'all ever see that, what's that one video where the dude was like recording himself dancing to some music and he's in like a truck, I think, and he faces the truck, the girl, and she's doing this. Like, but I feel like he was trying to play me like I was like that. Like, that's how he would manipulate me. It's by making it seem like, oh, you're square. Like, you're just. Meanwhile, I'm more rowdy than he was. Just because I like dancing. Just because I was hyper. But that wasn't the point. The point is, when I'm not doing that, when I'm not being like, yeah, you know what I mean? If you see me just doing this, it's because I don't like you. And honestly, that's what made me laugh when I saw the video. Because everybody, oh, she boring, she basic. She probably really didn't like that nigga. She probably was there for that. And he wanted some chick who was gonna be like, and then when he turned the camera on, she was supposed to like twerk. I'm not gonna embarrass myself for a nigga I don't like. Please. I wouldn't even do that for a man I do like. So yeah, so I wasn't like that. Which he knew I wasn't like that. He knew I wasn't like that. And that's why he would say that. And he would think that it would get me turned up. It didn't. He wasn't the one. Like, he just wasn't the one. I feel like he thought he was that dude. Like, he would call himself Chris Brown. And it is not even to say that he doesn't look like Chris Brown, or he didn't have attributes that facial attraction or whatever that Chris Brown has. It was just more like, but you're not that guy to me, right? So like, you could be attractive as ever, right? Like, you could be the finest chick, the finest dude. But if the person that you're with doesn't think of you like that, like it's not giving enough, then it's not enough. It's not enough to just keep saying, oh, I'm like Chris Brown, I'm just like Chris Brown. You a square. It's not enough. You know what I mean? It's just not. But it still got to me mentally. So even if I'm not acting like, oh, I'm about to be everything he wants me to be, even though I didn't do that, it still mentally got to me because I'm like, dang, like, is it really even that serious? Like, maybe I'm not catching on what is so fun about this hood shit. And it's not even to say that I've never had fun doing hood stuff. I just didn't have fun doing hood stuff with him because he wasn't fun. Like, y'all ever meet like a dude, right? And he's a hood dude, but all he does is just and blast loud music. You don't talk about nothing. You ain't about nothing. You're not funny. You're just what you think is this attractive guy who gets to lay back and chicks are just gonna be like, oh my god. No, not for me. Cause I'm sure that's how he got a lot of them. But not for me. I like people who are actually fun. I don't want to pretend. Like, I'm not the chick who wants to be in the club like this all the time. Like, and then I gotta be like that when you're around certain people because, you know, you need that bad and bougie. He used to always say that so many. I want somebody bad and bougie. Listen, brother. Because in the moment that I'm not, like, feeling you, then all of a sudden I'm bougie. So basically, you trying to say I'm ugly and bougie. Well, listen here, brother. I don't give a fuck. I didn't care. Like, some things eventually did end up getting to me when I would meet somebody who's like, you're kind of nerdier than I thought you were. Yes, actually, I fucking am. And the thing about it is, I don't ever pretend that I'm not nerdy. Y'all see some done up nails and a possible fatty. Oh, she got a little something back there. And then you just assume that I'm just this chick who's going to be twerking. And then when you realize that, oh, that's not actually how she's like. That's just sometimes how she looks. Sometimes. Because sometimes I don't want to look like that either. Sometimes I just want to. I ain't getting paid for this. I ain't getting paid to look like a fucking whatever you want me to look like 24/7. I'm not. So I'm gonna look like what I want to look like. And if sometimes you don't like that, then you just don't like it. And you know what I mean? And I wish I stuck to that. Like, I'm there again, but sometimes you just it takes the right person, or I suppose the very wrong person, to make you lose yourself. He wasn't that. He wasn't the guy that you fall madly in love with and then you lose yourself and then you're like changing everything about yourself because you want to fit the description of who he's into, which is this Coke bottle shaped big booty chick who knows about weed and knows how to roll up and bump loud music in the damn hood. I don't want to do that shit. Listen, Linda. I like looking cute. But I want to do stuff. And if I want to go on something adventurous, like I want to go rock climbing, I'm not about to pretend like I'm some superwoman who knows how to rock climb and stripper stilettos with a bust down. I'm not about to do that for you. I'm not about to do that for anybody. Shoot, unless I wanted to try it. But other than that, no. Because it's not me. And I don't need to pretend like it is me. You know what I mean? And so... anyways, I got so off track. So anyways, yeah. So we get up in this apartment and it's tiny as heck and he's trying to show me around and all that, and it was rough from jump because I'm like, where do we sleep? So we're supposed to sleep on this mattress on the floor in the room with your siblings while they're on the other mattresses. And she's with her man. So what? So and then it had mad roaches. Oh my god! How can you sleep? How can you sleep? So that's how I was. That's how I was a mess. I already have a problem with sleeping at other people's houses, and now I gotta. Oh my god! I'm not gonna lie, that traumatized me for a long time because no one fucking cared. And it's probably because they're from Cali. They're probably used to it. But it was just like, I'm sitting here trying to act like I'm not terrified. Because I know what's going to happen if I get scared of some bugs. It's just bugs. Are you a square? What does it have to do? What does it have to do with it? What does it have to do with it? But I knew it was just to get to me because I grew up in the hood. Just not this one. Just not this. That people be forgetting. Just because you from your hood does not mean that's the only hood. There's a lot of hoods. There's a lot of them. Unfortunately, there's a lot of them. And you, Buffalo, you get rats. So it's not like it was just like we all, you know what I mean, skating on ice. You get rats. Whew. Now it's a harder problem to get because how are the rats gonna get in? So you have to be in a very damaged place that's also very disgusting. Or sometimes not even disgusting, just the infrastructure is fucked. And that's how you get rats. But that wasn't really a common thing either. But you were just more likely to see rats than you were to see a roach-infested house. So it's like, okay, so let me have some big-ass rats in your motherfucking apartment. And now you don't be scared. Don't be scared, just square. They're going to be like, girl, are you crazy? It's rats. Are you crazy? It's a tiny little roaches that get in everything. They in all the clothes. They in all the food. If you leave your food open too long, boop, you're done. How is that not disgusting? But they're probably used to it. Not in that kind of way, but they're probably just genuinely used to it. So anyways, I'm trying not to freak out. And so, eventually I ended up falling asleep because, like I said, I was pregnant. So I did sleep. I did sleep. Well, I've never woken up with anything on me. So thank God. Because I would have jumped off a balcony or two to get away from that. Not even going to lie to you. So the next day, right, we wake up. And I think I woke up later than everybody else, for obvious reasons. And so he comes in the room and he's like, I need you to get ready. And I'm like, for what? Like, boy, I just came off a 8-hour bus ride, scared out of my life. I'm in the devil's den. What could you possibly think I'd want to do right now? So this man proposes to me that we should file for food stamps. And I'm like, I mean, okay, but right now? Like why? Like we finally get there and he's like, so you gotta go in there and see what they need you to have. I hate struggle love. And you know what the reason why I hate it is? It's not as simple as just like, oh, I don't want to struggle. Like, I want things to be easy. I want life to be easy. It's not as simple as that. It's that everything always lies on the woman. I feel like when you think of like struggle love, it seems like it's always the woman who has to have that 9 to 5 to make things look legal. Or if we gotta like hustle, it's the woman that's gotta do the sex work. Or if people want to be like, it's a stick up, it's the woman who gotta go in there first to seduce the dude. And it's like, why we gotta do all the work? Y'all don't do shit. Y'all really don't do nothing. Y'all just and then talk smack to niggas who ain't got nothing either. Like, it's just a bunch of niggas talking to a bunch of niggas who ain't got nothing. And then you're using chicks to get it all. And just to be like, I'm the man. Do man then. Because y'all ain't doing nothing. I am sorry. I've been through it. I can't stand struggle love. I hate it with a passion. Or even the other side of struggle love, where then when you finally do find a man with a 9 to 5, that's all he talks about. I work, I work. I pay this, I pay that, work, work, work. What else do you do? Okay, so now I work, I cook, I clean, I take care of the kids. I'm still trying to focus on my education. I gotta look nice. I gotta go to the gym. I gotta do this, nails, hair, makeup. We know the story. Y'all seen that Barbie movie? I'm sick of it. But this struggle love feels even more like, you think I'm just a piece of meat. You think that I just walk, 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 go here, go here, go here, make this phone call, make that phone call. So that was my first initial feeling, was like, ugh, you want me to go in here and sit in here to beg these people to help us with our child, and you're just gonna sit out here and smoke weed? Don't be like me. Don't go in there and do it anyway. Don't go in there and do it anyway. Give that man a piece of your mind. I got some balls eventually, but at that time, it's not even that I didn't have balls. I felt like sometimes I put myself in stupid situations, and then I felt ashamed to have to ask help to get out of it. Like, I really don't be scared. Like, it's crazy. Most of the stuff that I've gone through was not out of, oh, I'm scared. It was more out of the fear of being judged because I made this dumb decision, when I already know, I'm already knowing I'm not feeling this. I'm not even acting like I'm feeling it, honestly. Most of the time, I probably look like I had a stank-ass attitude, which is why he would call me bougie, because he's like, you too good for this? You too good for this? You too good for this? No. That's what's crazy. Well, yes. But at the time, it wasn't that. It wasn't that I thought it was too good for it. It's just, you're not the guy you go through things with. You know what I mean? Like, most of these men are not people you go through things with. There is the man, when the lights turn off, there is the man who's going to be like, what's going on? What's going on? I'm about to check outside. I'm about to see this. I'm about to see that. Hold on, baby. Stay right here. And then there's who's just like, they overreact, and they're like, yo, you turn off the lights. You ain't pay the bill. It's like, you didn't pay the bill. How you gonna yell at me for not paying the bill when it's probably not even the bills? You just so scared because, oh, my house ain't running the way my house is supposed to be running. You're not running anything. I'm running this. I'm doing it. You're the motherfucking background guy. And it was a blackout, stupid. Anyways, I don't want my neighbors to think I'm arguing with somebody. They're gonna be like, who's she calling stupid over there? Is everything good? Anyways, yeah, so that's, my feeling was more, this is not the guy you do these things for or with. So I walk in there. My first experience at the welfare office, it took 2 hours. No, not 2 hours. The first time I went in there, it took 1 hour just for them to tell me that I need to go prove that I'm pregnant. So then I go in there, I'm like, yeah, I can't get it. I can't get it. I gotta prove that I'm pregnant, and I don't